I'm going to be talking about the easiest way I've found to get into developing film at home, and that is with this thing, Cinestill D96. This is what's called a monobath. If you're not familiar, there's different stages in developing film. What this manages to do is combines the chemical steps into one solution, which means that it's one chemical in, one chemical out. There's no mixing, there's no diluting, there's no storage outside of the bottle it comes in, which makes it a really easy, really accessible way for anybody to get into film photography. I'm also using a Patterson developing tank. This is your really standard, really easy to find. This is the Super System 4 tank. You can develop 2 rolls of 35mm at the same time or 1 roll of 120. It is super easy to use. I'll leave a link to it in the description. I'll leave a link to pretty much everything in the description. Top just comes out like this, and the film goes on to these reels. It has a really cool loading system that lets you wind the film on without having to push it through, especially when it's in the dark. It can be really challenging, but this makes it very easy. These Patterson tanks are light proof, so as soon as you get the film in and you lock it, you're good to go. You can turn the lights on and pour your chemicals. I've tested the Cinestill D96 with a few different types of film just to kind of dip my toes into it. I tried it with a very cheap film, Ultrafine Extreme 400. I made a video about it. I also tried it with Ilford HP5 and Kodak T-Max P3200. For the Ultrafine Extreme 400, I found that the results were pretty grainy. I used it as kind of a test roll for the first go. I didn't pour enough chemicals, so there's like a ridge along the edge of the film stock of stuff that just didn't develop. The second time around, I found that the film, because it's so cheap, it crumpled when I was trying to load it into the tank. So I lost quite a few frames because I basically tore it. But so far, Ilford HP5 has been the best results out of all of them. The results are really pleasant. This Cinestill monobath is known for being a bit more contrasty. So this and Ilford HP5 is a good duo because this brings out the best out of HP5 because HP5 can sometimes look flat. The third roll I tried was a roll of Kodak T-Max P3200. I did do some research before that, and I'm sure some people are already saying like, why did you do that? But the Cinestill monobath is really not recommended for T-grain films, so anything with like T-Max in the name, especially the P3200 I found. Even though I did get images, they're the grainiest images I've ever seen. I will flash some examples. Shooting at 3200 is great, but I think with this developer you're probably better to go with the Ilford Delta 3200 instead. So I'm going to show you how it all works, but first we need some pictures, so let's head out there. I'm going to head out with my Nikon FE and the 35mm f2.5 E series lens. This lens does have some hazing, unfortunately, so we're gonna see if any of that comes out in the pictures. I haven't shot with it yet since I got it back. We're shooting Ilford HP5, and I think that's it. Let's get out there. I'm back. Let's unload the camera. So here it is. I'm gonna unload it. So film release there. And I'm gonna wind it back. A cool little pro tip is to not wind the film all the way back in the canister, but just wait till it releases. So you'll feel tension, and then eventually it'll, there you go, tension's released. This camera has a cool little lock on there, right here, just to make sure you don't open it accidentally. Just like that, pops it open. And this little film meter will be super useful because you won't need a film retrieval tool or a film can opener. All you gotta do is just cut this little end off and start loading it into the tank. So I'm gonna demonstrate how to get the film into the film reels. You wanna do this in an absolute pitch black room. Any room without windows that you can seal the door off in is perfect. A bathroom is great. A lot of people tell you you need a changing bag, but as long as you have a dark room, you're okay. You don't have to spend any more money. So you get the film. There's these two lines here. This is all gonna happen in the dark. We're gonna load this into here. You're gonna wanna give it as much slack as possible. And then you're gonna wind the outer ring just like that and bring it back. This actually just can come right off. So you can load them separately. So just like that. And that's about it. And you keep doing that till the whole roll is on the reel. When all the film is on the reel, you just put it back in. You're gonna wanna put your little lid up and you're gonna hear it lock. And then once it's locked, you're good to go. So I'm gonna go do that now with the roll of HP5. Be right back. So for this next part, you're gonna need a thermometer. This is just to measure how hot your chemicals need to be. There's a nice chart on the Cinestill website. You just look up your film stock on the chart and it'll tell you what temperature to put the chemicals at. The D96 developer is interesting because every time you use it, you have to add 15 minutes to the developing time. So it starts at 3 minutes for your first development and then adds 15 every time you use it again. Since this is my 4th time, I'm gonna add another minute. It's 15 times 4 is 60, I think. I'll see. So you're gonna need a sink. You're gonna plug up the sink, fill it with hot water, and we're just gonna put the jug of the chemicals in and wait for it to heat up to the recommended 70 to 80 for Ilford HP5. Okay, so that water is nice and hot. It's about at 110 Fahrenheit. So I'm just gonna drop this in here and let it warm up a bit. While I do that, I'll grab the film canister and the developing tank and everything else I need. So here's the tank. You're gonna need a funnel for dumping the chemicals back in the bottle because these are, you can reuse the bottle up to like 20 times. It says 16 plus rolls. So this is roll number 5. You might want to do a little pre-rinse with water. Water is okay. Distilled water is ideal, but that's alright. So I'm going to check up on what the temperature is. Okay, so that's at the right temperature. So I got 4 minutes on the clock here. Actually, yeah, I'm going to wait. So you're going to want to fill the tank until you see that the developer is all the way at the top. Okay, so that looks good. Put that down, start the timer. And you're going to want to get the little agitator that the thing comes with and just do this. Just back and forth. I'm gonna hit the tank just to make sure all the bubbles are loose. Okay, so that's done. Funnel, put the developer here, take the agitator out, and I'm just gonna pour it back in. So now the film is okay, you can open it, but I'm just gonna rinse it. This stuff can smell pretty bad. But it's really that easy, so okay, so the moment of truth. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Here's the end. Okay, all the pictures are there. So I'm just gonna kind of get rid of some of the excess. You can do this with a film squeegee, and it just gotta be hung up to dry. So you can see it's a very simple process. Film developing doesn't have to be that complicated, and this mono bath really does a great job. It's not for people that really want to tweak and really get into it, it's more for people that just kind of want to start. But you can see it's something accessible. The bottle itself is about 20 bucks, and it can develop about 20 rolls, so you're looking at about $1 per roll. Once you make that initial investment with the developing tank, which is about 40 bucks, you can really bring down the cost of developing film and shooting film if compared to going out to labs and getting it done elsewhere. So that's about it. I'm sure you've already seen the pictures. I just gotta scan them, and that's about it. Thanks.